Okay.
There we go.
There's Daryl.
Hello, Daryl. I missed our lesson on Sunday, but I practiced.
Yes. Okay, so here we are to do another MAAT session. It is February 2nd, 2022. I got that right, Vida? Good.
Yes.
Yes. So my name is Margaret Major, and I am the registered counseling therapist here at the After Trauma Empowerment Network in Shubenacadie, Nova Scotia. I am joined with Vida Woodworth, who is co-host and chairperson, that's it, on our board of directors here at ATTEN. And Kate Matthews is also with us, and she is our technical director behind the scenes. She keeps track of everything that's happening that Vida and I can't monitor while we're talking about important things. Yes.
Thank goodness.
Okay.
Yes.
So today, Brian Bauer is supposed to be joining us. He hasn't signed in yet, but we're hoping he's just running a minute or two late, and he'll connect, and we'll have a great conversation with Brian later. And hopefully he's going to play a song or two on his guitar. Okay, so let's do our diversity welcome, and then we'll do a check-in, Vida, and we'll just talk for a few minutes about African Heritage Month here in Nova Scotia. I know it's Black History Month in other areas, but we're here in Nova Scotia, so we're going to go with African Heritage Month. Yes, okay. So we would like to welcome all women, men, transgender, and other identified individuals here today. We welcome everyone here who is a mother, father, sister, brother, auntie, uncle, son, daughter, grandmother, or grandfather. Welcome. We welcome people of all races, tribes, and descents. We welcome your bodies, your minds, and your energy. We welcome all people single, married, partnered, dating, celibate, or involved in whatever sort of relationship is right for you. We welcome gay, lesbian, bisexual, heterosexual, queer, two-spirited, asexual, and others for whom none of the current labels fit. We welcome all your emotions, your joy, your bliss, happiness, sadness, disappointment, anger, all your emotions. Welcome. We welcome everyone's special way of understanding and knowing the world, everyone's wisdom and knowledge, whether it has been learned in schools, colleges, universities, and/or the deep and profound school of life. We welcome those living with chronic disabilities or medical conditions, visible and invisible. We welcome survivors and those who support them. We welcome mystics, seekers, and believers of all kinds. We welcome people who identify as activists, community leaders, musicians, artists, and those who don't. And finally, we'd like to welcome the ancestors who lived on this land where we are now. Welcome the spirits of Mi'kmaq, the natives who lived in this area before the Europeans came. We'd like to acknowledge them and invite their spirit to this space. Everyone, welcome. Welcome, Vida. Welcome, Emmett and Daryl. Everybody. Yes, okay.
Okay.
So before I get to my check-in with you, Vida, I just want to send out our thanks and gratitude for joining, for watching, just taking some time out of your day. And we also extend thanks and gratitude to the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia for their financial support for Project MAAT. We're always very thankful and grateful to the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia. Okay. All right, Vida. So I believe it is 0 outside today.
It is.
Now,
it's balmy.
It is a balmy zero. When we looked at it, it was minus 21 yesterday when I got in my car to head to the office. Zero, yes. I'll happily take.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little bit sore today. I told you I had some shoveling and ice chipping adventures yesterday.
Yes.
And in the 3 hours it took me to set my sister's car free, I fell 3 times, so I have some bruises. And but anyway, I entertained her neighbors in Truro, I'm sure. And good thing they couldn't hear me, because I was also heating up the air with some language when I fell. But yeah, so no, I'm doing good. And today is Groundhog Day as well.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. No. Yes, it is. Yesterday? Yes, it is. No, it's today. It's today.
Okay.
And
what's the verdict there?
Shubenacadie Sam saw her shadow. So we're going to have another 6 weeks of winter.
Okay.
And I forget. I think it might be Lucy, the lobster in Barrington.
Oh.
It might not be Lucy, but I think it is. She also saw her shadow. So she agrees with Shubenacadie Sam.
Okay.
And I think Puxatawny Hill said there's going to be an early spring. So I don't know. I don't think he saw his shadow. So I guess he's in Ontario, maybe.
Okay.
And anyway, so
different geographical regions. We'll see.
Yes. Yeah, and I didn't know.
He did see his shadow.
Oh, he did. There was another one. So was it Wyerton Willie, or didn't he die?
No,
I don't know.
You're introducing me to these things I haven't heard before.
Yes, the groundhogs and the lobster. Anyway, at the rate we're going, I think we are going to have a little more winter, because we're expecting a storm again tomorrow and Friday and half of Saturday.
Yes.
And again, we'll have rain, snow, freezing rain, and all the other variations of precipitation. Yeah, so yeah, I think I can't think of anything. I'm getting ready to watch the Olympics. For all of you, you've heard me talk a lot about the Olympics. If you've been following our MAAT shows, I watch summer, winter, Paralympics, everything. So. And I'm looking forward to distraction from kind of the winter flaws that happen this time of year.
Yeah. I've been hearing it a lot from clients. Just, January is a long month, and February, even though it's shorter, seems even longer.
Yeah,
January for some people.
Yeah. So, and I'll be glad not to have to shovel snow. It's not so bad if it didn't rain, because that makes it a lot heavier than it would be normally. So even though I only have a very tiny driveway, it's a lot of lifting when it's wet. So I'll be glad when that part of the winter disappears.
Yes.
And yeah, I just said before we came on for the show, I can't think of anything too exciting to share this week. Other than I had told you and Kate that I hadn't heard the term imposter syndrome before.
Right.
And 2 weeks ago, we had talked about it, and you had mentioned it to me just before, the day before, and I kind of learned a little bit about it then. And it seems ever since, every time I watch something on television, they're talking about imposter syndrome. So
yes.
And Kate told us that it's called, when that happens.
You'll have to type it out, because I can't remember what she said that phenomenon was.
Minor Badhoff or Badhoff. She'll have to type it now.
I know.
It's a German name. But it's like she said, when you get a new car and you think you've got the only one, and then all of a sudden you start seeing similar ones, like that phenomenon. Bader-Meinhof effect, it's called. Yeah. So
you,
I've
Kate.
learned, imposter syndrome and Bader-Meinhof effect. Two new things.
Yeah. I know
So,
that that effect has happened to me several times in my life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
something, I don't know if Kate can chime in on this or not, but something I've noticed, and I have talked about this with Kate, is how much your phone is listening to you or your computer.
Yes.
You might be talking about something very specific, and then you turn on your phone or you log into Google and there it is. Or you're scrolling through Facebook and an advertisement for something pops up. Like, it weirds me out sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the algorithms or like sometimes people say if you go on and you're searching something, then all of a sudden, advertisements that are related to what you were searching will start coming up. But I've not touched my phone and not searched anything, just thought about it. And it came up on my phone. So I don't know if that's the algorithms or whatever they're called that they put in, or that can also be Bader-Meinhof, she says. Oh, well. Anyway, it's kind of creepy though.
It is creepy. It is creepy.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
That's why I didn't get one of those things that sits in your house and you can, I forget what they're called.
Daryl and I had one for about a day.
Yeah.
And it just, I was very uncomfortable with it. And I ended up giving it to my brother, who has a couple in his home, and he thinks they're great.
Yeah. No, I just figure I can turn my own music on and off and whatever else it does. Anyway, I'm looking forward to hearing from our guest.
I know. I don't know where Brian is, but we still got. I told him about 6:20-ish, so hopefully
he's hovering out there getting ready.
I wonder if I should check. No, I don't know. We'll see. Well, I certainly won't. If Brian doesn't join us, I certainly can't play to his level of shredding ability.
No, and I left my guitar home, so I couldn't jump in the key of G. The key or the chord I've been practicing all week.
Yes. And that's how you get it, Vita.
Yeah.
I keep looking. So I brought I'll show this. This is my latest thrift store find and my latest project.
Okay.
So this is a D. I'm always afraid I'm going to say this the wrong way and it could be offensive. DIY ukulele. So here's my
do it yourself.
Here's my body.
Your body and your neck.
And it's like a blank palette. Like you can paint this, you can put beads, you can sequence whatever, wood burning. Oh, that would be so nice to wood burn something on there.
That would be cool.
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
Oh, Margaret and I got for Christmas a very fine a carving tool. It's almost like a dentist drill, kind of fine. You might be able to do some very delicate engraving on it or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Trace it out and then kind of engrave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, very nice.
Yes,
and you also had did you bring it on the show? Your do-it-yourself tambourines?
No, I didn't bring it on the show.
No.
I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to paint that or wood burn it.
Yeah. No, it's cool too. So
I'd love for us to have a workshop where people can make their own musical.
And then we could have a band.
We'd have a band and a big jam.
Yeah.
And speaking of jams, we were part of my husband Daryl and I were part of a online jam Monday night. for about 2.5 hours. There was a group of musicians. There was probably 27 people in total, not all musicians. But a friend of ours, his father is in the hospital and he needed some music to,
cool.
The power of music.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow, that's really neat.
So there was probably, I think, seven different people that were playing songs, and it was a Zoom meeting. Yeah. And we just went around, and everybody who got to play would play 2 or 3 songs, and then we'd move on to the next person. And it was so wonderful. So
that would be really nice. Yeah.
It was. There was Ashley Julian, she was part of, she was the audience, and then I requested she play the flute. I don't know if you remember, she played the flute in the drum.
Yeah, I do.
Show.
Yeah.
She used her flute and her drum. Lots of guitar, old country, new Merle Haggard and
cool.
Good old.
Any George Jones?
One
of my best friends growing up, her mother's favorite country artist was George Jones. So I got to know him quite well as a young, or I guess an older teenager and a young woman. Yeah. That would be very nice for the person who's in the hospital to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to do it again.
Emmett just shared that wood burning with a magnifying glass is also quite fun.
Ooh.
So
I have not thought of that. I've never seen anything done that way. I'll have to I'll do some Googling, and because that's a whole, I bet it's a whole different effect too.
Yeah, it's kind of like freestyle. You'd have to be careful not to burn your house down. If you accidentally forgot your magnifying glass and while you were looking at something else, then it might set your house on fire. Yeah. But I'm sure there are safety tips to go with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Safest spot. The safest spot is in the grass, it says. Or it says Emmett says. I was thinking the phone was telling me, but it's actually Emmett that was telling us. So yeah, you're right, Emmett. Probably safer to do it outside in the grass and not in a hay field with dried hay or anything like that. So
I see Brian. Brian made it.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, cool. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, they I thought you were sending this over Facebook Messenger, and I'm like, where's this at? And I waited and I waited and I waited. And I was just like,
you're just in time, Brian.
It's 6:20, and you found you in my junk inbox on Gmail. And I was just like, this is concerning. So luckily I thought to look there because I was wondering what we were going to do.
Okay, well, yes, that kind of clarification, Brian, would have been important on my end to say, I'm sending you an email. Please keep watch. But you're just in time. You're just in time.
Just in time. I was paying attention. I tested this out about 40 minutes ago with somebody to make sure it all works. So
it does. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, It's Wednesday, me boys. That's a meme reference if anybody understands what I'm talking about. But I probably make a lot of references to things that nobody understands because I have weird humor. So, but today is honestly pretty good. It's pretty much a busy Wednesday kind of thing, and now it's the evening. I can chill out and hang out here. How are you? Has anybody asked you?
We appreciate you taking time on your busy Wednesday to come on and share with us.
I had planned
an honor to have you here, and I know you're going to play us a tune or two just to show us some of your expertise and skills. Yes.
We'll see. We'll see. My camera angle is not great for playing guitar, so I'll be adjusting that a little bit. But anyway, I think we got the audio going good. So.
Your audio is perfect.
It was really good. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Very, very cool. Yeah. And I know you've put a lot of work into getting that dialed in, so to speak.
And it still gets screwed up. So one of the things I'll tell you when you are trying to do things and you're like, it's all works here in Zoom, and then you go over to OBS or trying something else, and I go on stream, I'm like, here, I'm gonna show you guys a new song. Audio just goes craps out. So I look at it later on. I'm like, holy crap, what happened? I'm still trying to figure it out to this day. And there's always something to go wrong. But yeah, that's the thing. You got to just do things and figure it out, because you won't learn if you don't try. That's
great. Great advice. Very true.
There are a lot of people in this call. Do I know anybody besides you and
you know Daryl?
Daryl? Oh, hi, Daryl. I know Daryl, but I don't know the other names. I don't know Rock Love. I don't think that's your real name.
If it is, it's cool.
It is a cool name.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Emmett and Kate. You won't see Kate. Kate is our technical director. She's on with every episode, and she kind of lets me get in and out. We're working on getting her on camera because she's studying neurology in at Dalhousie.
Sweet.
She's got this wealth of information about the brain, and we want to get her on here just to share some of that.
Yeah, you might as well. I mean, that's pretty pro. You got your own moderators and stuff already.
Yeah,
it's cool.
We're working on it, Brian. We need an editor. It would be awesome to have like someone who could edit these videos before we upload them on YouTube. We're working on that too.
Yeah, well, if you got any questions, I can probably help you out a little bit on that end. I'm still trying to sort that out too a little bit. Even though it looks like I've got it sorted out, there's always a blunder when it comes to doing that stuff too. So it's always a time, let me tell you, when it comes to this kind of thing. So these probably wouldn't be that hard for you to edit.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely talk about that.
Is this a consultation call about editing video, or are we here to talk
about music
or what? I can talk about video editing.
Maybe we could book you later for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. If you ever got questions, I can totally talk to you some other time about that for sure.
Definitely. I mean, I always have questions.
I'm not an expert. I'm just a person who does it.
Ooh, that's a good quote.
Yes, it is. A t-shirt.
Oh, well,
a t-shirt.
You can make it you can what did I say now? I don't even remember. I said it's like I'm not
an expert. I'm just someone who does it.
Cool. Well, sometimes I'm good with words and sometimes I'm not.
Well, I have a couple of questions in mind I'd like to ask. I'm just wondering, do you want to play something first and then I can ask her?
I mean, sure. I mean, why not? Let's just see how everything goes. What was I playing before? I need to go over my phone. So I'm running this all through a mixer right now. So I'm going to try to adjust my angle here a little bit so we can see some guitar. I'll come out a hair. I'm sorry that these camera angles are miserably bad.
Good, Brian.
My live streaming setups leave a little bit to be desired. So either way, I have everything running through a mixer here, which is really cool. So I can still hear myself, but you can hear me. This is all going through another routing. Anyway, I play the backing track from my phone. So I promise you that everything I'm doing, I mean, you're going to hear, I should explain what's up. I'm going to play a couple songs. So I'm going to play my first song. It's going to be called Dream Away. It was a song I put out last year. It was just a fun thing. There's nothing like super inspirational about it or anything. So if you're looking for some deep meaning, it's not there. I think people like to look for deep meanings and things, but either way, I have a backing track where I wrote all the drums with a computer. I recorded all the guitars. Everything's recorded by me. I removed any of the leads from the song, which is the guitar solos and such. So any of that kind of stuff, if you hear mistakes, well, it's because I completely flubbed it. And so nothing's really faked in this sense. So, so anyway, I've got this going here. So whatever you hear, whatever you see me playing, I am actually playing it. So I know this, and maybe that's not something that everybody has to explain, but I live in an internet world where people actually do ask these questions. And
that's great stuff.
It's good to know because a lot of people fake their stuff. So anyway, this is not a music video. This is a totally live thing. Anyway, the song is called Dream Away. It's instrumental, by the way. I can't sing worth crap. you go. Not too
Wow.
bad, really.
Yay.
I only forgot one little bit of it, you know. I'm going to take this guitar off for a minute because
Yeah.
it's a little easier in the posture if I sit in the chair the right way. So.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, man.
You have quite
Great.
a collection of guitars behind you there.
Yeah, one of them's not mine, but it's one I'm fixing up for. Well, not really fixing up, just restringing it and hold on to it for a friend while he gets his new house and all that stuff sorted out. Yeah, I have a collection, but keep in mind that those collections probably took 18 plus years right at the moment. So
that ties into a question I have for you. And
that, go for it.
What you just played, it was like I had all these visuals running through my brain, just almost a triumphant kind of, you know, the building that you did.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I just pictured Invita talking about the Olympics, and it's like I just picture, you know, these triumphant moments of working so hard and then you succeed.
Yeah, like snowboarders or downhill skiers.
Yeah,
kind of.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe. The video I did for it was much less inspiring. It was a whole bunch of spots where there was just text coming up on the screen saying random stuff.
I have seen your video
really cool.
for that, Brian. I have seen your video. Yes.
You seen that video for that one? That's really cool. Yeah.
And you did Gowan's Midnight Desires.
Moonlight Desires.
Moonlight, yes.
I did. Moonlight. Yeah. I tried to get him to watch that, but I don't think he ever saw my message. So, yeah. And funny enough, I've talked to his son, Dylan, and I was like, so I don't want to be an annoyance, but I did do When Your Dad's Song. It's like, I'll check it out. I don't know if he ever did. It's kind of probably like, maybe he doesn't even want to hear it. I don't know. Super nice guy. And, but either way, I don't really know him. It was like through Instagram. I was like, wait, are you Lawrence's son? It's like, yes, it is. He is. Anyway, so I know I worked with some of his friends that know him from, hey, thanks, Darryl. I'll see that in the chat there. I'm just looking at that window. Yeah. Oh, it's like only a few mistakes, but it's an honest playthrough. Like it's live. Like there's one point like, damn it, I could do this like about 5 minutes ago. Like I'm not gonna lie, to sit there and play that, I was still a little nervous to do that. You know, I'm playing live like right now, like, which is the fun part though. It's like why I want to do more live stream and stuff. But you said you had a question, and you were talking about. You said that it's taken you 18 years to accumulate that collection. So I'm just curious how old you were when you got into guitar and what kind of inspired you to get into guitar. Okay, so I started playing more seriously when I was 15 years old, but I decided I wanted to play more when I was about 14. I originally probably picked it up as probably about 11 or 12 at the middle school in Milford, Riverside Education Center. They had the first couple of years they had that open. I was there the first few years, although I was actually grade 5, so I didn't get to do much with like the actual school stuff because we had an oil spill at Elms Hill Elementary. That's a whole other story. I just go on and on, so I don't care. So this is how talking to me is. And either way, they let us play instruments and they wanted us to pick instruments, and Mom had a piano at home, and I could dabble in that at one point, and I wish I kept with it, but at the times like guitar seemed cooler, so I tried to play guitar, you know, try to play stuff like Crazy Train really badly. And what was the other one everybody liked to try to play? Mission Impossible. That was one. Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, like the old class, like some of the more like the classic things. There's Smoke on the Water kind of deal.
Yeah.
And, anyway, and I mean, this is about, you know, around the year 2000. I remember around about 2001 or 2, they used to let us in there. I think my last year of middle school, they would let us play the guitars if we went at lunchtime like once a week, and they gave us bread tags or picks. And and one day I said, I want to do this. This is what I want to do, and I was determined I was going to do it. And I remember telling my dad I wanted to do that. Anyway, of course, my parents probably couldn't afford to, you know, buy that, and they said, well, you got to save up and do it yourself. So anyway, I actually spent a year trying to get money to actually buy a guitar. I don't know if many 14-year-old kids, 14, 15-year-olds actually have that kind of dedication to trying to get something. But I was determined, man. And I was determined. I would like ride around trying to find cans and bottles on my bike. I remember falling once. alongside the highway. I didn't even realize I was bleeding for like about 5 minutes. I'm like, oh crap. I kind of fell there. I've picked up any old job I could find mowing lawns. I had an hourly paid job. It was $7 an hour, which was more than minimum wage back then. There was, I don't remember if you remember, but it was like Carroll's Corner way. There was a trap shooting range. And somebody said, you want to come up here and launch those? So I'd launched those for like $7 an hour. Oh. And I thought, I'd make some more money. I got $70, thought I was rich. And then, and eventually after over a year, I collected up, maybe like $300, which is a lot of money for a kid who can't find a job in them. Anyway, I finally got a guitar and just been at it ever since. So really it was just kind of being around them. There wasn't any like specific song or anything maybe go, I'm doing that. Okay. Some people's like, I heard Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon and I kept playing. I don't have that kind of story, but that's just kind of how I got into it. Was middle school back, like, really early 2000s, young teenager, back in the new metal days and stuff.
Yeah.
That was cool.
So what was your first guitar?
It was a PV Raptor. I can show it to you. Do you want to see it?
Okay, yeah.
It's cannibalized. So it's totally not tuned up. It doesn't have an output jack on it. I took that off for another guitar. But yeah, this is my first one. Was a PV Raptor.
Awesome.
And so I ended up getting that at a place I don't even know if it exists anymore, called Mingo Music in Truro.
Yes, they do.
They still exist.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was in there not long ago. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Still on Prince Street in Truro.
Yeah.
That's super cool. 1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry, not everything's in one place easily for me to get. I grabbed the performance guitars just have right by me. You can't see them, but anyway. But yeah. There's the one I played, and I have another one that I'm going to play too, because I need multiple guitars for multiple songs, because they're not in the same. They're not in the same tunings and stuff. So, and one's on a 6-string, one's on a 7-string. So we're not on. You can't always do the same thing. Here's a guitar player problem, and I'm sure where you play guitar stuff, something like, play this and that. Well, no, it's in this tuning or that, or maybe do you only play standard tuning, or what do you do?
I do. I am familiar with like drop D or different kinds of tunings, though, but I don't play anything.
Yeah, so I'm really boring. I'm really boring in that sense too, because thanks, Rock Love. I don't know who you are, but thanks, man. No, actually that song was just E standard tuning, 6-string. There was nothing really wild going on, at least in the tuning deal. And I play 7 strings as well. So, and some people tune those really wild, but I just like having a low note without tuning my guitar down to play lower, because I'm lazy.
And was that guitar a 24 fretboard?
It was a 24 fret. Now,
was it? Yeah. Okay.
I like 24 frets. Reason being, I'll explain it to you. Is like, see this, like a Fender Stratocaster is usually a 21 or 22. Yeah. But what I like about the 24 is not necessarily that I use the 24, but you get a little bit more access, and I can get up here and not fight with it. If you look at the back of this guitar,
look at that!
Like, look at how easy that is to get at.
Yeah. Very,
very easy. Instead of like, a big clunky square thing.
I know. Yeah.
And now that's going to depend on the instrument too, because I really, for a long time, never could play a Fender Stratocaster worth crap. And I decided to rent one day back in the fall. Like, let's just see how it goes. I came so close to buying it. It was so good. And it didn't have 24 frets. It had like, 22 or something. A square neck joint stuff, but it sounded awesome. I did a video of that song with that guitar, and it worked. I wouldn't say it was much of like a metal guitar per se. It was just like single coils. It was more of like, cleans, like blue stuff, but it was awesome. It wasn't even like a high end one. It was just like, it was a Mexican one, and they were still expensive enough these days. But yeah, I thought it was really cool because I like to play different stuff too. Like, I don't love every kind of music out there in the world or anything like that, but I don't know. I needed to be like some people call them boomer guitars. I'm sorry if that's an offensive thing to say, but they'll be like boomers, like baby boomers.
That would be me.
And they'll be like, oh, it's for boomers and stuff. And it's like, but man, it's like that particular guitar sound. I don't know what it was with that one. It just was good.
Yeah.
I just liked it.
It's so like, I mean, we're talking about 6 or 7 strings and a piece of wood, but yet they all sound so different. So different.
Yeah. You know, it's like, so they do sound different, but here's a thing that you'll find out if you've messed around long enough. Now, I know like sometimes you pick up different guitars, they do have different sounds, but then there's like all the other stuff. Like I'm running it like a Kemper profiler into this mixer. That's how you're hearing me. Like everything is just audio routed that way. Pretty simple. It's just hardware, but there we have this whole digital world we live in. Like I'm playing a digital amp over there too. Everybody's like, some people like, they love the tube amps, and I like those too. But now we have this whole thing of digital. We live in this world of, you can have plugins and all these things, and everybody can kind of easily just get a sound on like 20 years ago, you couldn't do that. Everything was like, you know, kind of more like a real amp. There was Line 6 pods and stuff, but now in the computer world, we have plug-in amp sims and all these things. I remember I was going to try one that was, I did download a demo. I was like, I'll get a different tone if I try this thing by Neural DSP. I think it was called NatYes or something. I forget what it was, that actual plugin was called off the top of my head. It was based off of a Canadian company's amp called a Fortin. I don't know if it was the Fortin Satan or what it was, but they just reversed it. And then I played it and I sounded like me. I didn't sound any different. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll sound way different. Nope, I sound like me. At the end of the day, I just kind of start learning. It's like, well, all these things sound different. Some people say, like, you'll hear people trying out different gear. Well, you always has to sound the same because you sound like yourself. It's, you kind of like, these kind of things matter too. I wouldn't say it's all in the hand, but it somewhat is. And it's a little bit about you. Oh, you're going to find those things that work with you.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say that something like is going to not sound different, but I just found anytime I tried something, when you said that, it's like, they all sound different. Yes. But sometimes within a certain range, that's like maybe not. There's just like other little things. I could talk about this stuff all day.
Oh, so
it's debatable. Day, Brian. It's debatable stuff. Like if somebody has something to say about what I'm saying, if they think it's wrong, that's totally cool. It's just in my opinion. It's just my experience. That's all. Yeah. It's like, yes, there are things that definitely do sound different. I'm not saying that. I just find you always sound like you. So just be yourself.
Yeah, that's great. Great advice. So what would you say to someone who might watch this video, who's thinking of learning an instrument, maybe guitar, and Vida is just starting to learn on her, I think it's your Gibson Epiphone.
No, it's Les Paul Epiphone.
Oh, I've got one of those.
Yeah.
There's one over there. They go to tune quick. It's like, okay, at the end of the
they do.
They do. They're just notorious for it. I know. I have one. I've got a popular video where I bought it mine, and I did things that I would not recommend. I almost feel like the message is almost wrong to somebody buying something, especially starting out, considering it's such a beginner guitar. But either way, if you want to talk from the playing perspective, is I would say one of the mistakes I probably made now, I was younger, is it's like find a teacher, somebody who's like, you know, not like a boring teacher who's like, well, today we're going to learn our theory today. So put your guitar down. We're going to read sheet music. You're a guitar player. I'm not going to say don't learn sheet music, but I mean, I don't know anything about theory half the time. Like I kind of do, but I don't. Like I really don't. So anyway, practice, but you got to have fun. If you're not having fun, are you going to keep playing it? Are you going to sit there and play that scale all day and be bored to a metronome? That's the first thing is going to turn somebody off. So, you know, find the right things to practice. Like get somebody that works for you. There's a billion resources and it can be a little overwhelming. But you also have to spend some time learning songs that you like to learn, that you want to learn, that are within like reason that you can play them. I don't mean some sort of like, you know, Arc Spire or something like that. That's just way beyond most of our abilities or something. I know maybe nobody knows what I'm talking about, but if you've never heard them, you're going to be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
They're
I'll look it
intense.
up now.
But
Yeah.
okay, Dean Lamb's amazing. Either way, it's technical death metal. You might not dig it, but
Okay.
I was like, if we would talk about something else, like let's say, like maybe don't try to learn, Stevie Ray Vaughan or something, for example. Something I'll throw some names out there people know, like an amazing blues player. You got to find those songs that you like, something easy, something that keeps you engaged with it. And another tip I have for you too is don't be afraid to put it down and do something else for a while and come back. Like some days just don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Some days it's just like, I sound like crap. and don't ever look at somebody else. And I'd say this, like, we live in a world of the internet. Now, I don't know. I want to be careful how I word this, but this is especially towards, I don't know the age demographic of people watching this. I want to take a shot that they're probably like not kids.
No.
But for somebody who's a kid right now, they're all out there on Instagram and they're on YouTube, and you see these just absolutely sick playthroughs, these people playing stuff, and there's a whole world of internet guitar players out there that a lot of people haven't even heard of that are just, mind-blowing how good they are. But was that off the cuff? Probably was about 30 takes. And they push the best take. And sometimes there's things that are faked and just completely almost inhuman. There are I've seen a few people that are just mind-blowingly good. I know they're actually that good. And you have to kind of like remember that while they might be amazing, they're presenting their best views. This is the same thing you could say about looks, like Instagram models and stuff. But you have to realize that we all suck sometimes, and it's okay to suck. You just have to have fun doing it. You have to realize, you have to be realistic. You have to have realistic goals for yourself. But if you're not having fun, you're not going to like it. So just have fun. Find the right things to practice and have fun. And I would say this, learn your rhythm guitar. Screw solos. You don't need to play those. They're like, learn to pick some, but I would say another thing, learn how to hold a pick. Because people make this mistake. I saw somebody trying to learn not long ago. They was like an amazing musician, but they didn't really know guitar. And they were making the mistake I made. There's no wrong way, but there's better ways. Like they were holding a pick like this, but really, you should hold your pick like this. Like kind of have your hand like this, put it in here, and just have like a bit of it sticking out. And then you can work on your your like pick hand muting and stuff, because muting is important. You don't want all those other strings ringing out and playing. There's a billion things. I'm just rambling on.
Oh, I'm anti-pick, Brian.
You're anti-pick?
Yes.
You know what?
Daryl's trying. Daryl is a pick pusher on me. He's always trying to get me to use the pick. It's a great contention between us, but I love the fingers. I love having just playing with my fingers.
There's no rule saying you have to play with a pick. I mean, I try sometimes to just do things without a pick too. It's fun sometimes. Like, let's just try something here.
Yes.
Sure. I'll grab this one. My pickup selector's screwed up in the other one, but let's just find something here real quickly, and I'll move this down here a little bit. So let's see, where are we at? Are we on a clean tone? We are on a clean tone. So yeah, you can sometimes just do this thing, and you just go like. Another thing you can start doing too, if you have this, is that keep in mind. I'll show you something. Is that this? I'm gonna try to put my face in here just so it's not just. I'm sorry about the bad camera angle. It's bothering me more. It's bothering me more than it's bothering you.
Good,
a lot of our own ideas are in our own heads, okay? But it still annoys me. Either way, you know how we have these lovely natural harmonics? Keep in mind that every time you fret a note, that harmonic exists. But let's say if we're on the 12th fret. Well, if I hold down on the 3rd fret of the string, it means the 15th fret is the 3rd fret from the 12th fret. Does that make sense? Yeah. That natural harmonic still exists. So watch this. Now it's harder to bring out, but you can actually tap your harmonics. They go like. Let's see if we can remember how to do it. No, I know that's not really that impressive, but it's there's something to think about too, is that these other things exist. And so instead of just, you don't have to just finger pick like this, like, is that you can also, you know, get some taps in there. Oh, that sounded really bad, but whoa, man, we're way out of key tonight. Start messing around. There's people that are amazing at that, not me, but just think about what you can do. It's like, not, you don't have to just pick. You have a whole other part of the fretboard. You can do, you know, two-hand tapping. Now there's people that can like do thump stuff, but I'm not even gonna go there. I don't know how to do that at all. That's a whole other thing where they're like, I don't know. It's almost, it's like, it's some of like the gent people can do it, like Toshin Abashi, and those guys are just like, that's like, holy crap, like that's a whole other level. 1 second.
I'm just wondering, Vida, if you have any questions that you're curious about that you'd like to ask.
Yeah, well, 2 questions. The first one, you said you sort of started when you were 10, 11, and
yeah, 11.
at
I was
school.
at school. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just wonder, because you probably were living at home.
Yep.
And how you found a space to practice that didn't drive your parents crazy, or
shut the door, got told I was too loud sometimes. Yeah, that is definitely a thing that yeah, if you have a kid in the house trying to learn an instrument, you're prepared for some awful noise. And I'll tell you another thing too. You want to know another fun fact? I don't know if this is for everybody, but even when you're good at it and you're sitting there trying to figure things out, look what I just did. This is as proof of it. There's a lot of times you're playing the wrong note and trying to figure things out. You're just making noise, trying to figure things out. And it's like, and then, you know, you're putting something together, and, you know, and eventually it comes together to be something.
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah, there's always going to be those moments where it's just noise. Now, I mean, I have a whole room in here now, like a house to myself, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're that age, it's a little bit more difficult, but they put up with it for a long time. That's for sure. I mean, I didn't quit, but I wouldn't say that it wasn't hard back then. Like, I just don't play with headphones is my problem. And I don't like playing with headphones. I mean, with electric guitar, you can do that, but acoustic, you really can't do that, you know? I never really had acoustics. I had one, called it the shit acoustic. I had that overseas. I bought it for $10. It was the cheapest guitar I ever bought. Somebody sold to me. Bought a $3 tuner from a bin. Yeah, this is not something, it wasn't Lon McQuaid. That's fun. There was like this massive music market. I taught English for a year over in South Korea back 10 years ago. And I remember they had this massive music market in Seoul. And I mean, like, it was a whole bunch of like different vendors. And you could just walk around in this like gigantic circle. And it was just like all kinds of stuff they sold, full-size harps, drum sets, everything you could name it. They'd probably have it. Anyway, well, maybe not all the time. There were some brands that you would never see here. And I remember there was like regular stores that were like, think like you were walking through like Micmac Mall or something, and you have like those stores that are there, but then the halls, vendors too. It's just packed. Everything's packed in. I remember there was a bin of like $3 tuners. I bought it. The guitar was called the 2-Man. It had a Gibson-shaped headstock, but it said 2-Man instead of Gibson. It came from China. That's where it came from. Anyway, the action on it was like, you know, yay high. Maybe not that high. That's an exaggeration, but it was definitely a campfire guitar. It's not one you care about if it gets another scratch or ding on it. Yeah. Anyway, I gave that away before I came back here. So I didn't exactly need that one back. But it was a fun guitar. An American guy sold it to me. He's like, well, we're leaving. He's like, I think he came close to just giving it to me, but it just was junk. He bought it on like Korean Craigslist. It was Americans that used it. So anyway, yeah, there was. Yeah. I don't know, a
Cool.
random story. I don't know why I told it, but I did. Here you go.
Well, that's all right. The other question I had, it's obvious, I guess, watching you play, how much you enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
And part of what we were doing with our show is helping people explore different ways to help them either deal with their emotions or experience emotions in a different way. Have you found that your music and guitar has helped you, I guess, kind of deal with the ups and downs of life?
I mean, I have to say that it definitely, does in that sense. And there's a side of me that likes to create things, too. And when you're doing that, it definitely is a mental thing. And sometimes when you're away from it for a while, you crave to go back. And it really does help because it gives you a focus on something else other than necessarily that bad thing. Now, I mean, the song that I played for you earlier there is not really, an angry song by any stretch.
No.
I've had a few people tell me, well, you're like the happiest guy that plays that brand of guitar. Most of them are just like playing like all the haunted and stuff. But yeah, it definitely is a thing. I mean, it feels good to do it, and that's why I do it. If I didn't like doing it, I wouldn't be doing it. I'd go do something else.
That's true. Yeah.
So to experience emotion in a different way, I mean, that's a tough one to answer. I mean, there's people that probably have at least better answers in that sense. But yeah, it definitely does help with, mental well-being, especially in the last couple of years when a lot of us are, you get stuck at home. I know in Nova Scotia, we've had it, pretty good in that regards and stuff, but it really does help because we live in a really weird, lonely time and stuff. So yeah, it definitely does help to have, goals and that, like those creative kind of things to work on. As music, actually, I wish I was doing more music, but I end up doing a lot of the YouTube thing as well. So, which is, it's all hand in hand,
Yeah.
And it leads down different paths, but there's times where like, I want to be doing that. There's other times where like I have to like go jump into that. I also like doing photography too, by the way.
Oh, cool. That's a whole, another creative thing to do. Yeah.
Never planned to get into it. It's just something that I do. I had a camera. I'm like, well, I better learn how to use it. And I was like, oh, I'm not actually that bad at this. So something else I got to do too. But it's just, you got to keep your mind active.
Yeah.
And if you I understand that I'm coming from a perspective where I'm not a person dealing with depression or anything. You can have a bad day, but so I can't talk for those people who have gone through maybe more traumatic experiences and that kind of thing. But we all, especially the last few years, I noticed like, even like in this last month, I find like I get tired of people like, oh, everybody's a bit of a mess. I don't know why. I think I'm the only person who liked January, and that's just because I like this time of year in a weird sense. Like I don't love the winter time, but it's just I have time to do this stuff and kind of less obligations to be out other places. Don't worry, I'll be sick of it soon and wanting to go out and I soon need to see my friends too and do things as well. But yeah, really. I find if there's anything these days, if you can keep your mind active, it will help you out a lot.
Yeah.
It's not an easy time in life. So just keeping yourself active, whether it's artistic thing or, I don't know, going hiking or whatever you want to do. Ice fishing. I went ice fishing not too long ago. So
did you catch anything?
I did not.
No?
Not this time. I have before in the past, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's just keeping your mind active, really. And if creativity is the way to do it, then that's the way to do it.
Yeah, cool. That's a great answer.
Yeah,
great answer.
There you go. So what other questions you got?
Well, Vida kind of asked. I had a couple, and Vida kind of covered them with your question.
I'm sorry.
No, don't.
Stepping on each other's toes. Oh my God. Fight on camera.
Okay, I have two.
Okay, go for it. Fire away.
Do you prefer pizza or pasta?
Pizza all the way. I'm not the biggest pasta fan. So I used to, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the way they do things here. But I went overseas and actually love noodles, like udon noodles and stuff, like different things like that. Super cool. You know, like something like if you ever go to a Japanese restaurant.
No.
Okay,
No,
the ramen, like I took a chance on that once and it was awesome. I loved it. It's not like, I don't mean like Mr. Noodles, like done up in a boiled water from a microwave or something. So no bachelor meals in this sense, but like the way they do it, it's like there's a bit of an art to it, and man, it's really good. Yeah. And my recommendation too is if you are going out for food to different places like that, especially if it's like something like more like of a foreign variety. Sometimes just let them, unless you have some weird like dietary thing you can't do something, just let them do what they're going to do with it. And that sounds terrible, actually, the way I put it in my own mind. But like say, like if this is something they put in that food, let them do it and see if you like it. Because you can be like, well, I don't like that, or this seems weird because it has an egg in it, a hard-boiled egg. You'll say that to people, they're like, oh, I don't know, it sounds weird. Try something new. Maybe it's good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. I mean, some things look terrible. Have you been to Sobeys recently in Elmsdale?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Where I used to work. That's where how I met you.
Yes.
And I've seen you there like a ton of times when I used to work there.
Yes. Your mom and I went to school together, didn't we?
That's right.
I knew it. I said to Margaret,
yeah.
I know, Brian.
You do. I've totally seen you around like tons of times. And anyway, oh no, I know who you are. It's like, at least I didn't say like, I know who you are.
Yes. She could probably tell you some things.
Oh, I'm sure she could. I probably will forget to ask, but you know,
that's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm boring too. Anyway, either that or maybe she doesn't want to tell me what she was up to. I have no idea, but that's cool. Yeah. I don't need to know. I think some things are best left unknown in the world, but I didn't say that.
Yeah, our idea of an exciting night probably would put most people to sleep when we were in school. Unfortunately, I'd have to say we weren't too wild.
I feel like that's me a lot of times these days too. It's just like, go to bed at like 10 o'clock at night. You got to wake up in the morning. You got to work. You got to pay your bills. You got to do all that stuff. What was I saying? Yeah, so I went to Sobeys. I had a point there. Now this is one I don't know if I want to try it. Did you see that there's Lay's cucumber flavored chips?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
How is that a chip flavor? Tell me, how is that a chip flavor?
I am not sure.
There's nothing spicy. There's nothing. It's like, what do? Dip them in water? Does it come with seeds in the bag?
I was going to say, are they soggy?
Yeah. It's just like, just add water, mix it up, and drink the bag. Oh, I'm like, let's say it's one of those like things from overseas. Like when I went to Korea, there was these cheesies. They weren't cheesies, they were shrimp flavored. The kids love them. It sounds so weird. You tell somebody that here. Yeah. This sounds weird, but what's weird to us is normal to someone else.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't think I really had them. I don't think they were bad by any stretch, but I'm like, I don't think they were like all that amazing either.
No, I can't imagine cucumber chips would I just can't. I guess I should try them and see what they are like.
Yeah, I will.
I almost did. I was like, do I want pay $3.69, eat a handful, let them go stale on the counter? I don't know if I do or I don't. So
yeah,
you kind of and I'm just noticing our time, Brian. So I have one more question.
Yeah.
And you almost answered it.
Oh, I did? Okay, cool.
So the question was, what is your favorite kind of potato chip? So you started talking about cucumber potato chips. So what is your favorite kind of potato chips?
I had to pick one right now. Man, there's a few others good. You know what's a really solid choice? Sweet chili heat Doritos.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Those are awesome.
You and Kate have tried those, haven't you? Margaret?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you guys had them one night.
And you can like if you make homemade macaroni and cheese, you can crumple those up and put them on the top.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I actually got that idea from Emmett.
Ah, cool.
Emmett enlightened me to how, like, you could use any kind of chip really to put on top of mac and cheese or any kind of pasta.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Very cool.
I think you should add some of those cucumber ones up there at Sobeys. $3.69 a bag plus tax.
Yeah, I'm not in a hurry for those.
Not sensational though, because it's not a Sobeys brand. So
Yeah, there was another flavor too. It was chicken and something.
oh, yeah, it was chicken and tomato. Yeah, I saw
Yes,
that.
that's it. I saw that too.
I don't know.
I almost got those just to see.
I couldn't get to that one.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I don't know. I just.
Ugh.
I won't say it's bad. I never tried them. It's like I'm still like, curiosity might kill the cat. I just don't know how this one works. Like, I'm gonna taste this. Like pickles, it makes sense, but cucumber, it doesn't. This is a conversation with me. This whole thing on wellness and music has just turned into chips.
Yes. Yeah. We do that sometimes.
Yes,
this is my conversation flow. It just does. It's just all over the place. It's just how it goes. So yeah. Am I supposed to play one more song, or what am I supposed to do? It's like 5 minutes.
You can if you want to. Do you want to?
Do you want to? Do you have time? If you want me to do it, I'll do it. I mean,
we can go till midnight.
Yeah.
I don't have enough stuff planned till midnight, but I'm gonna be in bed before then too. And don't wear your strap like this.
10 o'clock.
All right. So so here's a guitar. It's a Solar 7-string. That's the one I was playing a minute ago. But yeah, so I'll explain a little bit. So what's up? This guitar here is actually, I'll go over here. Oops. I'm like, where's my cord? And I was wondering why I was buzzing, but it's sitting over here. So we're not gonna get any noise unless I plug it in, because I'm not a wizard. Not running wireless. Okay. So if I have this guitar, I'll go back to the clean setting for like 1 second. So it's really, think about this. It's just a regular 6-string guitar. I have it tuned down a half a step. So we have, this is though, it's gonna be E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, flat. I said fat, not B flat and E flat. But we have a B.
Oh.
We have that lower note there. Now you can tune that down. Like people do like drop A tunings and different stuff. So I like it because I don't like going all the way down. I don't play in like B standard tuning like bands like Slipknot or Carcass or anything like that. And anyway, I kind of just like E flat for playing this stuff. And like some of the bands that I liked played in E flat mainly, or B flat mainly. Nevermore was a band that I really liked when it came to 7-string stuff. So you can play that. And it was kind of cool. So I like playing 7-strings because of, that kind of music. It sounds cool to me. Mind you, some people play them because they want to play, heavier all the time. And well, the song, I don't know if I'd consider it heavy, but it does have some low notes in it. So let's just say that, sure, it is. I'm going to play a song that I wrote a couple of years ago on a very, I won't get into that story. That story's sad. It wasn't because I knew anything was happening. There was just a lot of things happening out there in the world, and I was in here. I had a cool idea, so I ran with it.
Good.
All right. This song is called Distance. There is a video on YouTube for that, so you can check that out. Anyway, let's do this, and hopefully it sounds good. All right. It's just starting up here, so see how this goes. Fix the camera angle. Awkward. All that awkward silence while we wait for all this to get going. This is Distant. Let's do it. Here we go. Get the same chords. Sounded pretty cool.
Oh,
it goes. Sorry,
Yeah.
I love that ending.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
it's a fun tone because it's actually like really loaded with this like really cool like reverb, and I dial that in. It's not like a preset or anything. I do some things in some of these songs that maybe not. I don't think this one not so much, but the other one for sure. But this one, it's just like this really big clean tone.
Yeah.
It's like it's this very ambient kind of thing.
Full.
So it's really full. That's
Yeah.
what's really neat about it. Like that was the clean tone at the beginning too. It's layered into like all the distortion and stuff, and it gives it this like big sound and stuff too. So it's really fun because you can kind of like almost have like a note ringing out. Just play something. Play one wrong note, you go, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. That's the thing when you play with all these effects. Now you can kind of almost like hide behind an effect too, in a sense, but it's really just a tool to make a sound.
Yeah,
so it kind of inspires you to do something. So I think that's a really cool tone. I'd like to do more.
Yeah,
that's kind of what's up there, you know. But anyway, this was fun. So thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Hey, no problem. Hey, people paid attention to me before too, and it's like, whatever. It's like, hey, you want to come on my channel? I know you're a lot bigger than me, and it's just like it's hard, but you know, putting yourself out into the world and doing all that stuff. So I appreciate that you're actually, you know, out here doing this kind of thing. How many subscribers you got right now?
Oh, 30? I don't know.
30?
Only 30? Well, people okay, so when we start this video, you're gonna have to go, you know, it's like before we get going, you guys click the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell.
See, that's why we need the editing factor.
Yeah.
You gotta project that, and we gotta project that. So, you know, if you were gonna end this video right now, it's like you go, you know, it's like, well, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you click the subscribe button if you like this stuff, the like button, because that really helps in the algorithm, and the notification bell on this channel. I don't know what this channel name specifically is off the top of my head. It's ATEN.
After Trauma Empowerment Network.
There you go. Yeah. So you click the like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell. And thank you all so much for watching. That's kind of, if you want to, like, you know, really present that, you know, and you know, and put a little subscribe thing at the start of the video and all that stuff, you know, and you know.
Thank you. Those are great. Those are great tips.
There's all kinds of tips, and I don't always succeed. I promise that. I am not a pro by any stretch. So, but either way,
Rob cool. Appreciates your what did he say? Your absolutely loved your musical talent. And Daryl, you're an incredible talent. Brian loved it.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I see the chat open there too. This was a lot of fun for me, so it's cool. I appreciate that you guys do
I hope
this.
you'll come back sometime.
Yeah,
we should do this again sometime. You know, down the road. That'd be cool. I would definitely come back. I hopefully will have some different music out at that point and play something else. You know. Or we can talk about whatever. We can talk about doing YouTube or whatever whack flavor of chips we find at the store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything you want.
Yeah.
I'm pretty open with my conversational topics most of the time, you know.
Yeah, we are too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good thing. That's how it should be. It's about having fun. Like I said, about playing guitar, and same with you trying to put these videos out on YouTube and all that stuff. You have to enjoy doing it. One of the great things that you got going is that you have interaction between yourselves, talking instead of just talking to an inanimate object like I do sometimes, or a lot of times. And you get used to that. You get used to that presenting things. Like presenting is very hard to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being out there and putting yourself out on YouTube is also very hard to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know what
inspiration, Brian.
Am I? Oh, thank you, but I don't know if I'm. I don't know. I try to help out. So hey, if I'm a positive influence somewheres, then cool. You don't always have to do exactly what I do, because that's not always the correct thing. But but that's cool. It's a good thing what you're doing here. So just keep doing it.
Thank you.
Keep getting new people on here. I saw you had Classified one time there.
Yeah, we had Classified.
Yeah. How was that? How did you enjoy that?
Oh, great. I think we talked to him about potato chips and pasta and pizza too.
Well, you got to talk about things that people know about. I'm good at talking about things to people that they don't know. They don't have a clue what I'm going on about, because I'm just off my own spacey world. And sometimes it's like, oh, you want to talk about that? I'm gonna be like, oh, let's talk about that. Wait to go. And it's like, and then it starts going over everybody's head. So, basic topics.
Maybe we'll go there next time.
Yeah.
Oh, weird topics. Yeah. Oh, I mean, we can get into topics. You just gotta go with the flow,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So
it was great to see you, Brian.
Yes, thank you so much.
Since our Sobeys days, so I've missed those.
I mean, it's been 10 and a half, 11 years at this point.
Easily,
since I worked there. So it's been a while, and these days I'm not out as much, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not known as the Sobeys guy anymore.
No, I would say you probably left that in the dust.
I left that in the dust a long time ago, but that was the longest job I held down.
Yeah.
7 years I was there.
Wow.
Yeah. And but you don't always get appreciated for it too. You get looked down at a lot. By some people, but only by people usually whose opinions don't matter anyway.
Well, and during COVID, I think people have had a whole new appreciation for people who work at Sobeys.
I think about that.
Yeah.
Quite often, actually, I see them there. It's like they didn't have a choice; they had to go.
That's right.
They had to go they had to go work anyway and stuff, and sometimes not even paid anymore. So and they're still there, still going strong. Or here. So anyway, all right. So
well, thank you, Brian.
Hey, no problem. So you got to practice your thing now, though. You got to practice. How would you do it? You got to go. Here's how you do it. It's like, okay, guys. So we're gonna go. Thank you so much for watching that video. You can go click the subscribe button, You got to do it. You got to do it too. Like click the subscribe button.
I will.
Click the subscribe button and the like button.
And the notification bell.
And the notification.
It's like, so you know, anytime our videos go live or we're on live stream or whatever it is we're doing, it's like, thank you all for watching.
I'm going to put that on my sticky.
You all again next time.
Next week, right at the first, I'm going to say it.
You got to practice it. At first, it's like, so you can say, it's like, welcome to whatever whatever your show, whatever you want to call it. I sound terrible for not being able to recite it, but and I'm on it. Okay. Hey, it's okay. I have a whole podcast that I do, and I don't even have a proper name for it. So whatever. I just do things. I just do it anyway. You come on. It's like, hey, but before we get going, if you guys are here and you like this kind of content, click the subscribe button and the like button, because that really helps us in the algorithm. And you know,
I'm going to do that.
I can explain a bit more of that stuff some other time, but this is not a YouTube show. But hey, there's little tips and tricks there I might be able to help with. So, got any questions? Just ask. We can always talk. So,
I will.
All right. I'm going to take off for the night. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks, Brian.
Good night, Brian.
All right.
Say hi.
See you all later.
Say hi.
Oh yeah, I'll do that for sure. And thanks for the nice compliments. I made a lot of mistakes. Don't worry about that. It was a human performance. So, all right, you guys have a good one. All right, I'll see you all later.
Okay, Brian.
Okay.
Wow.
So, I know. I'm thinking, Vida, that I'm going to make the executive decision to not do the loving kindness meditation.
I'm thinking. I was thinking it's kind of a different energy, and maybe we'll just kind of end on the energy we're on.
I think that the end piece that Brian played, it was very, I feel like I've taken a good deep breath. So I think that maybe it'll be the first night we haven't done it.
No, that's okay though.
I think it's okay. Yeah.
It's a new year, and we said we would maybe shake things up. So let's see how it goes.
We're going to shake it up and not do our loving kindness.
Yeah. No, and Brian did it so well. So hit those subscription buttons and hit the like. And
we went way over.
I know.
Over, Vida. That's okay. That's okay.
That's all right. I think we should go.
Yes.
To the end.
Yes. Okay. So we didn't have an opportunity or time to talk about African Heritage Month. So next Wednesday, which I think is the 9th, we'll talk more about that.
Yes.
We may have a guest too.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds great.
Thank you for being here. If you like this video, please subscribe. Subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Is that it? Okay.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. Have a good night, Margaret.
You too. Everybody, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and be well. Bye-bye.
Bye.